My heart's desire is to love you, your kindness and all the things you do. But when I ask, it triggers something deep. You come out fighting and I weep. Why would I be blocked on that special day? Why would you think I just get in the way? What is more important than giving me a call? What are you hiding? How far did you fall? What is more important than giving me a call? Oh, what are you hiding? How far did you fall? Ooh, oh, you know, oh, you know. Oh, my heart's desire is to love you, your kindness and all the things you do. But when I ask, it triggers something deep. You come out fighting and I weep. All I wanted is to love you, for the man you don't want me to see. But when I ask, it triggers something deep. Oh, you come out swinging and I weep. Oh, you come out swinging and I weep.
Nancy Manet on Radio Bristol, performing in the 3rd Street Coffeehouse studio in Roanoke, Virginia, from her self-titled debut album, Addiction. Nancy, welcome to Roanoke.
I'm actually really excited to be here and to meet you in person.
Well, thank you, and a pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you for coming in and sharing your music with us. This album, it was a long time in coming and is filled with stories of life struggles and victories. Let's talk about that first song you performed, Addiction.
It is about my kid's dad and 18 years of marriage. We were married at 21, and in my late 30s I was heading for divorce and 2 teenagers at home, and we had gone in and out of 8 years of rehab and addiction counseling in hopes that dad would get, or my husband would get, sober. And the last year when he was supposed to be in rehab, we found him at the movie theater. And I gave him an ultimatum. You have 4 months to get clean or we're going to be divorced. And as my life went on without my husband, and it was just the 3 of us because he was gone, eventually as I started songwriting, this song emerged due to a date that I had that had nothing to do with their dad. But this song emerged and I realized, oh my gosh, this has nothing to do with the present day. It's every bit. When you are married to an addict and you've been married for almost 2 decades, all you want to do is just love them through it. It's not anger, it's not hatred, it's not bitterness, it's love. And sometimes you just can't. You can't continue. So that was Addiction and how that all came about.
And I understand that following that marriage is when you started to work a lot of things out through songwriting.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, this album, somebody asked me if it's autobiographical. I said every single bit of it. There is not a thing that was fabricated or made up. It is absolutely how I processed the pain, how I processed life. And even, when I wrote Addiction and I said, oh, can I share? He came out swinging, because that's abuse. I mean, it's all abuse, but and I went, no, you know what? Other people, men and women, if they hear this song and maybe it'll resonate. Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of having somebody swing at me or having somebody rage at me. And all we wanted to do was just love, but we're reduced to a pile of tears. And so when I went about the song and I get to the chorus, which usually choruses are where they build and they get really, big and anthemic, the chorus actually gets gentler because I wanted to communicate just, oh, no, all we want to do is to love you. That's it. And so I thought that would be a better way to communicate that tenderness.
I recently had a married duo on the show from Houston, Texas, and I asked them, with no derogatory intent, how they came to take up music full time, as they say, later in life. They have a song on their new album, Middle-Aged Prodigy.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, are you referencing that I am 54 years old?
I had no idea how old you are.
I am 54, and I am extraordinarily proud of it.
As well you should be with your debut album. I want to know, what was it that clicked, that caused you to think, this is what I want to do now?
I went back to school to learn the language of music because I played my whole life without really being able to speak articulately to the band. There were things I did not understand in theory. So I actually went back to school to get a music degree and was double majoring voice and piano. And it was just a few quarters into music theory, the department heads and my piano instructor pulled me aside and said, you're in the wrong school. And I said, well, I'm just learning theory. And they said, we think if you want to continue in school, you should go to a conservatory. And we recommend Berkeley, or if you want to stay in Seattle, go to the Seattle Conservatory. And what's fascinating about that was when I was a child and I took piano lessons, I was told the same thing, but then my dad died and I was left in the hands of a borderline personality disorder. And so fast forward, after that experience, which I just think learning some music theory around some brilliant people in the college setting gave me the confidence that said, oh, this is really the track I've always wanted to be on, what I've always loved, but I was pigeonholed in a genre that I didn't love, but you just play where you play, right? And I raised a family, no regrets. And I had a business, no regrets. But here I am, kids are grown, kids own their own homes, they're all off doing their own thing. I am alone in my house. And I thought, you know what? This is my third act. And let's do it because I have a story I want to share. And I'm not going to sit back and be silent anymore. It's worth coming out of hiding and silence to actually tell the story if it brings hope to others on their journey.
Absolutely. Talking with Nancy Manet on Radio Bristol. Her debut album, self-titled, is out, and I want to hear you perform another song from that album for us. A song that, again, shows that it's true to life, and it shows how you face things head on. My Expansion.
Just give me a second here. All right. You enter the world, and out of the gate, you never accept status quo today. You blazed a trail that was all your own, even though being queer was not well known. And others were wearing polo shirts. You wanted tattoos under your skirt. Being like them was never okay. You began to proceed in your special way. Oh, you are my expansion. that the world was not as rigid as I showed it to be. You opened my eyes. There is so much more to consider than all the years before. You don't believe exactly what I do. Yes, engage the world as the authentic you. Your path is your path. It's not mine to judge. My job is to love you with love from above. Oh, you are my expansion. Oh, you are my expansion.
Nancy Manet on Radio Bristol, performing a song from her debut album. That's My Expansion. I'm Luke Church, and Nancy, that song is about your daughter coming out?
Yes. Well, I would say it's about my daughter starting at age 5. Because at age 5, before she knew she was queer, she came to me and said, Mom, why do you believe what you believe? Just like 5-year-old, already a very just strong critical thinker. She said, Mom, I don't think I believe that. And she started to share, and in the culture we were in and in the environment, things just weren't questioned. You just did what, for you to have that type of community, you just did what you were told, and you thought actually it was the right thing. And my daughter is saying, Mom, I'm not sure. And she went to a private school, and she's like, why can't I wear bell bottoms? That's why I wrote, tattoos under your skirt, because she just wanted to be different. Why do I have to look like and act like and behave like everybody else to fit in and be accepted? Why can't I just be accepted for me? And so as she got older, she continued to challenge and ask questions. And I watched other parents lose their children because of their rigid backgrounds. They're conservative. And there's nothing wrong with some of these aspects, but this rigidity and religious and conservative overtones that are just driving our kids away. And I thought, no, I think I'm wrong. I think actually I need to grow. I need to expand. I need to look at what else is out there that I never even considered before this little girl came into my life. And even today, I love having conversations with the 20-somethings or the 30-year-olds because they see the world so differently than the way we were taught to see the world. And my expansion was born, and I will tell you, it's not often I can get through it without a tear coming into my,
And writing that song and that experience also led to a book.
It did. So before this song was even produced, a children's book publisher heard it. And he said, Nancy, there aren't children's books that are written from the perspective that the child changed the parent. And he said, could you adapt those lyrics for a 5-year-old? And could we turn that into a children's book? So almost a year prior to the album being released, the book was released first. Yeah. And it's, you spoke, I listened, I changed. You are my expansion. And I think we can look at it beyond, my situation with children or my child, my LGBTQIA daughter. We can look at it, let's listen to each other. I will change because I have a conversation with you if I'm open. I'll change if I have a conversation with a complete stranger. If I listen to what they say and let that inform maybe some of my own thought processes that need to grow. So, my expansion.
Nancy Manet on Radio Bristol. Her debut album, self-titled, is out and available now. I'm Luke Church. Let's talk about the production of this record. Let's talk about studios. Let's talk about how surreal it must have felt to walk into Abbey Road Studios.
Being recorded at Abbey Road Studios, I can't look. I'm going to even stutter because I just there's almost no words for the experience. It's do you say it's iconic? Do you say it's a privilege? It's an honor. It's all of the above to have these world-class strings players playing on the album, to sit at Sir Paul McCartney's Steinway and play these songs and record, and have, some of the best engineers in the world, behind the boards, and just an experience of a lifetime.
I recently spoke with a group from Chicago, Empty Pockets, and they recorded at Abbey Road Studios, and they said it was indeed surreal. And when they first tried to get in there, it's like they were stopped and said, "What are you doing here?" And like, "Well, we're supposed to be here. We're going to record."
Yeah, that happened too. Yeah, I had a group with me, and you just show them your credentials, and they let you in, and we spent the week, writing music, playing music, recording music.
And you also used two other studios, which each of them have a storied past.
They do. Two other iconic studios, Criteria Recording Studios in Miami, where the Eagles recorded, the Bee Gees did all of their work. Beyonce's been there, right? They had a piano, or have a piano, and they have a Neve console that would give us the sound for some of the songs that we needed. And so the Steinway was beautiful. It had its place. But we needed that Yamaha C7. And my producer, Grammy-winning producer David Percival, took us there and said, we need this. And so we did some more tracks and did some more piano work there and guitar work, and then ended up wrapping up the project at the legendary Yellow Dog Studios in San Marcos, Texas. So, right outside of Austin.
And how did you make these contacts?
So I was learning to two-step in a small country town. That is the truth. And I just wanted to two-step, and there was this great band playing that night. And one of the band members came down. I was in his age group. So he came down and chit-chatted with me and telling me all about that they were going to Austin to record at this studio called Yellow Dog, and they were going to spend the week and spend the night at the studio. They had accommodations, and I just, hey man, that is amazing. Go you. I wasn't going to say, well, hello, I'm a singer-songwriter too, and can I get a contact? No, I just listened to their story, and I continued to two-step, and they finished their set. Well, it was a month later that my best friend called me, and she said, have you sent your music? I'm like, oh, no. And she said, if you don't, someone else will. And I went, okay, what is the name of that studio? He likes dogs. I like dogs. So I literally Googled dog recording studio, Austin, Texas, and pops up Yellow Dog. And I laughed when I met David Percival in person. We just knew. We knew this was a project the two of us needed to do together. He actually asked for my iPhone recordings, and I had a backstory that I had written that went with each song. And he said, send over your raw material and your backstory. And a week later, he sent me a message and said, I don't know if it's more inspirational or chilling what you've been through, but let's meet. And then here we are. And he got behind this 200%. And you can tell in the work that he and his team have done.
Nancy Manet, thank you for stopping by, performing for us, and sharing your story with us. I really appreciate it.
And thank you so much for having me.
We are going to hear you perform one more song, one that's not on the debut album. This is a new song.
This is called Silence. And this song encapsulates my entire life. Sit and be silent, seen, not heard. As a woman, as an appropriate little girl, as the wife to a pastor, don't be your personality, just sit and be silent. And so I found myself in many times in life where I tethered and I shrank. And so I would say in some ways this is my coming out song. not made whole. Tears falling down my face and told once again, just too much and I'll never fit in. So I'll sit and be silent, seen, not heard. I won't come in between, no I won't say a word. I won't be spontaneous and sometimes interrupt. I won't be too loud. Yes, I'll shut up. My joy and passion often override. It's not my intent to cast you aside, but you get angry and throw it in my face. It's hard to be quiet and not feel disgraced. But I'll sit and be quiet, seen, not heard. I won't come in between, no I won't say a word. I won't be spontaneous and sometimes interrupt. I won't be too loud. Yes, I'll shut up. My stomach is turning, I want to throw up. I'm angry, I'm hurting, just back the heck up. Been held back and beaten, told when to breathe, controlled and abused and put underneath. I thought I was accepted for just who I am. Now I see my silence will win, as most men want their women to be quieter than them, to only be seen. So sit and be quiet, seen, not heard. I won't come in between, no I won't say a word. I won't be spontaneous and sometimes interrupt. I won't be too loud. Yes, I'll shut up. Oh, I know I am accepted for just who I am, and now I see my silence won't win. It's not what I want or who I'm meant to be, not quieter than them. And yes, I'll be seen. So I will not be silent, I'm seen, I am heard. I will come in between, yes I will say a word. I will be spontaneous and often interrupt. I like that I'm loud, can't make me shut up. I love that I'm loud, and I'll never shut up.